Clock is ticking on medical marijuana, but there is still a lot we don't know. KCTV5's Betsy Webster is digging into more of the gray area tonight. Betsy, they do have a lot to figure out, and fast.
They do. You know, December 6th, that's the timeline. December 6th is when constitutional amendments go into effect, but it won't be legal then yet. That's just when the clock starts ticking for the state to start accepting applications for medical marijuana cards and dispensaries. But there's still a lot about the law that's unclear that a local lawyer is watching closely.
One concern is how the Department of Health and Senior Services will handle applications for medical cannabis cards. Will some be granted and others not? On what grounds? And once people have cards in hand, will the state protect that information under federal medical privacy laws?
This agency has a list of people who have marijuana cards. Is that going to become public record at some time? And then what are companies or law enforcement agencies allowed to do with those records?
With inevitable pot docs cropping up, will the state track their cannabis scripts like they do with opiates? Will doctors face consequences for overprescribing?
You can't get over years and years and years of it being illegal, and it flips a switch, and then now all of a sudden there's no negative stigma associated with it.
Then there's the cultivation component in the Missouri law. With a medical card, you can grow, not like this, but up to 6 plants in your own home. So what's to say you can't get around sharing or growing without a card if you have a friend who does?
The 15-second lawyer workaround on that is, what if I'm paying rent at my friend's house? I'm renting out part of his house for my grow operation.
When the Jackson County prosecutor announced that she wasn't going to prosecute simple possession anymore, she cited averse juries. But some say it's also a practical move in light of all the gray area in the new law. Some would even say the tricky bits are by design, with medical marijuana introduced to test the waters for what advocates hope will eventually be legal use across the board.
Whenever you create all this gray area, you're paving the way for it to become legal.
Now, one thing that is not a gray area is gun ownership. Federal law says you cannot have a gun if you use illegal drugs. Well, federally, weed is still illegal. He says people have taken it to court, and the high courts have made it clear that state law does not matter there. Live in Kansas City, Missouri, Betsy Webster, KCTV5 News.
Thank you, Betsy.